Welcome to Virginia. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden in the folds of the Appalachian Mountains? What if I told you that one state, quiet, rugged, and often overlooked, holds a treasure chest of landscapes, stories, and wonders that only locals know best? That state is West Virginia. Today, we're not just listing sites. We're going on a journey, a deep, winding exploration into the mountain state's heart, where history, geology, and human resilience all weave into one. So let's step into the mist, the ridges, and the rivers of West Virginia. Picture the year 1863. The Civil War rages, splitting families and counties, reshaping loyalties. Out of that chaos, one place breaks away, carving its own identity. On June 20th of that year, President Abraham Lincoln signed a proclamation. West Virginia officially entered the Union. No other state was born quite like this, mid-battle, mid-division, mid-fire, and that independent streak, that stubborn mountain spirit, still lives on today. But identity isn't just forged in history books. It's etched in stone, carved into valleys, and raised in peaks. To understand West Virginia, we must first walk the land. As dawn breaks, mist curls above the New River. Below, the water carves through ancient rock, older than the Nile itself. And there it stands, the New River Gorge Bridge. At 1,700 feet long, it's the longest steel arch bridge in the Western Hemisphere, an engineering feat so bold that it cut travel time across the gorge from nearly an hour to less than a minute. But it's not just a bridge, it's a symbol. On Bridge Day, thrill seekers leap from its deck into the abyss, parachutes snapping open against the sky. Families gather, locals sell crafts, and strangers become friends, all in the shadow of steel. The bridge doesn't just connect roads, it connects people. "75% of West Virginia is forest. Imagine that. 3 out of every 4 steps you take lands on moss, pine needles, or leaf litter. From oak to hemlock, red spruce to rhododendron, the state is a living cathedral. Campers come for the silence broken only by whippoorwills. Hikers climb ridges that seem to breathe. Hunters, anglers, birdwatchers all find sanctuary in these woods. And at the very top of it all is Spruce Knob, the state's highest point. Rising 4,863 feet above sea level, it offers views across endless ridges, where clouds skim the peaks like fingers tracing a map. The wind up here is constant, sculpting the spruce trees into twisted, enduring silhouettes. Once, the summit was blanketed in dense red spruce forest. Settlers cleared much of it for timber, but nature, resilient as ever, pushes back slowly, reclaiming what was lost. Drive deeper into Tucker County and you'll hear it, the roar of Blackwater Falls. The water, stained amber by tannins from fallen needles, plunges 57 feet into a gorge. In summer, families picnic along the banks. In winter, the falls freeze into a cathedral of ice, blue and white, like something from a fantasy novel. Observation decks line the gorge, each angle offering a new portrait of liquid power. But not far away, another waterfall tells a quieter story. The wide sandstone ledge of Canal Falls, only 15 feet tall, but stretching from bank to bank, it's a sheet of silver under the sun. Just above it, a dam diverts water to a hydroelectric plant, a reminder that West Virginia has long balanced between industry and wilderness, harnessing its rivers while honoring their beauty. In a state where mountains rule, rocks rise like castles. Seneca rocks, jagged spires of Tuscarora sandstone, stab into the sky. Climbers from across the country test themselves here, scaling narrow ridges secured by cable routes. From the summit, the view is staggering, valleys stretching, rivers winding, and forests rolling like a green ocean. Yet these rocks hold more than vistas. Look closely and you'll find fossils, trilobite trackways, and ancient marine imprints. Once, this land was the floor of a shallow sea. Imagine it, where climbers now cling to cliffs. Fish once swam, and waves once rolled. The Seneca, Shawnee, Delaware, and Cherokee peoples told stories of these rocks, speaking of little beings who lived within, guardians of the land. Their descendants carry those stories still, even as colonial history displaced them westward. To stand at Seneca Rocks is to feel both the immensity of geologic time and the intimacy of human memory. Along Glade Creek, tucked within Babcock State Park, stands a mill. At first glance, it looks ancient, as though it had been grinding corn for centuries. But here's the twist. The Glade Creek Grist Mill was built in 1976, using parts salvaged from 3 different historic mills across the state. Its wheel, creaking with water's push, still grinds cornmeal the old way. Visitors can even buy a bag of fresh meal in the gift shop. When autumn comes, photographers flock to capture the mill against a backdrop of crimson and gold leaves. And if you're lucky enough to hear the miller at work, the grinding stones and rushing water carry you back to a time when life was slower, and bread began as stone-ground corn on a wooden wheel. Farther east, hikers face the challenge of Big Schloss, a sandstone outcrop that requires a steep 1,000-foot climb before easing into a ridge walk. At the top, 360-degree views open across the Shenandoah Valley, watersheds, and distant mountain chains. To stand there, with the wind in your hair and the horizon endless, is to understand why explorers kept walking, why settlers kept pushing west, and why hikers today lace up their boots again and again. Not all wonders roar. Some simply flow. In Berkeley Springs, mineral waters bubble from the earth at a constant 74 degrees. For centuries, native peoples bathed here. Later, George Washington himself soaked in these very springs, claiming their healing power. Today, visitors slip into Roman-style baths, fill bottles at public spigots, or simply sit in the gentle sound of water spilling through stone channels. Festivals fill the town with music and art. Vendors line streets with crafts and regional foods. And yet, at the heart of it all, the springs keep flowing, steady, unchanging, a reminder that some treasures are quiet. To understand West Virginia fully, you can't ignore coal. For generations, mining built towns, paid bills, and fueled America's growth. Along old railways, rusted towers stand, ghosts of an industrial age. In Whitesville, one such coal tower still looms, corroded but proud. Tracks, slurry lines, and collapsed infrastructure surround it, telling of labor, danger, and community. Mining shaped culture, too. Songs, unions, struggles for rights and recognition. Today, many towns pivot toward new economies, but coal's shadow remains, both heavy and honorable. From Shepherdstown, one of the oldest settlements, to Harper's Ferry, where rivers meet and John Brown once staged his raid, West Virginia's towns breathe history. Civil War skirmishes, revolutionary supply routes, canals, and railroads all left marks still visible in bricks, bridges, and battlegrounds. In some places, like Fairmont or Bluefield, the story is one of education and resilience. Universities rose, factories fell, but the people adapted. In others, like Fayetteville, timber and coal gave birth to communities that weathered wars and economic tides. Then there's Dolly Sod's wilderness, where mountaintop plateaus look more like Canada than Appalachia. Winds sweep open meadows, cranberries ripen in bogs, trails wander through spruce groves into rock-strewn fields. During autumn, red and gold paint the landscape like fire. Visitors come to breathe, to hike, to camp, but mostly to marvel at how diverse one state's wilderness can be. At its core, West Virginia is paradox, wild yet welcoming, rugged yet tender, industrial yet natural. Its people carry the pride of survival, the warmth of community, and the stubbornness of mountains themselves. From coal towns to college cities, from sandstone cliffs to mineral springs, West Virginia whispers. Come see, come listen, come feel. So, have you ever truly looked at West Virginia? Not just driven through, not just glanced at a map, but really seen it? Because beyond the ridges and rivers lie stories of resilience, of beauty, of loss, and of triumph. And those stories are waiting for you. With that said, thanks and until the next time.